Hi. Before I start rambling, I just wanted to say that I am so lucky to be in a position to make this video where I can make it into something that isn't super sad and depressing. And, it can just be like my experience that maybe will instill hope in some other people. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you so much to my partner, Win, for helping me, I guess, be in a position to make this video. I've been wanting to make a video like this for some time, but I just didn't really know how I'd go about it. But anyway, on to the video. Okay, so there's this quote from my favorite philosopher that says, if you love someone and you love them so much that it hurt, then that love had to be real because it hurt. And I just lied to you. Yep, I lied. I'm sorry, but that I lied to you. Well, I don't know any philosophers, but I do want to tell you about my experience with unrequited love. Now, hopefully, me securing the bag doesn't discredit me, and I hope that you can take my words as real because I mean, what I felt was definitely real. I don't know how else to tell you that. Anyway, um, it all started in 2020 when I was in year 8. I was basically just the quiet kid, and I only had a few close friends. So, you know how you do that thing where you sit down, you don't have to sit down, but where you just imagine yourself being in a relationship with people you know, and then it's you know what I mean. I think you do. But yeah, I did that, and with Win, it just felt so real, and it just made sense to me, and I think that just flipped a switch in my head, and it made me think, wow, I really like this person. And when I got back to school, I started doing all those things you do when you like someone, you stare at them. And the thing is, I'd stare and then we'd make eye contact. That's not something that's meant to happen. You're not meant to make eye contact with the person you're staring at. That's just awkward. But basically, I would just, do that a lot. And I don't know, it was just so magical. Like seeing the way that they talk, the way that they make the same jokes that you would to other people. And just the feeling of like missing out on that, it just sucks. Honestly, I would fantasize about making a move of some sort, but you know, I could not do that because I didn't feel like I was in a place where I would be good for them. And honestly, I'm glad I decided not to do anything because I think if I did, I wouldn't be where I am now. I did have a lot of issues with my self-esteem and self-image, and I think if I tried to go into something like that with someone also who I don't actually know all that well, I would have been in a tough situation. Anyway, so that kind of carried into the next year. So it carried into 2021, and it grew like tenfold, man. It was amazing. It was it was great, but it sucked too because when you want something but you can't have it, it's just the most painful thing in the world. And I know, at least for me, there was no way to get it. So I just kind of got to sit there and suffer, you know. It does suck, but it gets better. It gets better. And then moving on from that in 2022, I just decided, you know, I gotta work on myself because I definitely did have a few things going on, and I started working out. I started eating not better, but more. I did get a little chubby, and that's okay. That's okay. Honestly, that's growth. But yeah, um, that was just like whatever, right? And then toward the end of that year, I found out that they were dating someone, and I don't know how it took me so long to find that out, but that just kind of like got the gear spinning, and I was like, okay, it's really time to move on now because I didn't want to be, obsessing over someone who I just could never be with. And do that I did. I started working out even more. I started eating better. I started to, I don't know, hang out more with my friends, and that was actually great. But throughout the year of 2023, I could tell those feelings were starting to fade. And honestly, I did develop feelings for someone else. And whether that was real or if it was just a way to cope with the fact that I didn't have a shot anymore, I don't know. But the point is that I realized it was time to move on, and I was trying to do that. But yeah, towards the end of that year is when things started to get a bit rocky for me because I looked like this. I fell down the looks maxing rabbit hole, and it was honestly, it was pretty bad. Like, the thing is, I would probably make like a video on this some other time, but going down that rabbit hole, because I mean, at least from my point of view, that's when it started to get really mainstream. Like, every other video on my like TikTok for you page was a looks maxing video, and it just made its way into my brain, and it was good because I mean it did make me change a lot of things about myself and led me to where I am now. Honestly, if I didn't do that, I don't think I could have pulled my partner, because that's one of the things that actually, helped a lot. um I piqued their interest. So the other but like I'm still seeing the implications of that phase now because I'm so insecure about how I look, and I'm just constantly thinking about it, and it sucks. But anyway, moving on. Basically, uh things started to get better from now. Around 2024 was year 12. um I really started to, figure out what I wanted to do, and I don't know, things were looking up for me, and was living in my old world, honestly. Like, at this point, I don't know, it was still I still did feel I still knew I was, in love with them, but I was close to moving on, actually. It's not like I was thinking about them, like, all the time or anything, but I was making progress, and that was good. So, being able to work on myself was something that I could only do when I wasn't just obsessing over someone else, and I think that's a really big issue with a situation like this, or that, because I mean, I'm not in the situation. Mm. Anyway, point is, yeah, moved on almost, and things looking good. And around this time, also, we were like talking to each other. We were playing 8 Ball Pool on iMessage, and we were sending TikToks to each other, and it was great. It was really great. I could see like a great friendship, and I was really happy with that. I was really happy. But then around mid to late 2024, we started to basically enter a talking stage, and we would just bombard each other with questions, and it was really fun. It was really fun because we got to know each other, and I don't know, we just had so much in common, and there was so many things that I didn't expect to learn, and it was great. But the thing is, um, the idea of being romantically involved with someone who I have been in love with for the past at this point, 3 years, 4 years, was just out of this world, right? Because how could that be, right? When you're denied of it for so long, it just doesn't seem like it could ever happen ever again. Um, and to some extent that was true, but things just kept moving, and we eventually hung out for the first time. And that day I was so nervous. Um, I think because the thing is, we weren't even like hanging out alone together. There was, a friend with us. And that day I was just so nervous. I've never been that nervous in my entire life before. It's crazy. And I think if it was just the two of us, maybe I would have like collapsed or something the morning of. Things went great. We had a great time. We hung out, and then it was awesome. And then we went on basically a date. Like a week later. It was just so weird because, you know, the whole time that we were doing all of that, I just was like, wow, how can how can they just be so chill hanging out with me when they know I've been in love with them? But I mean, somehow, that wasn't obvious. Uh, because that just really shows how different the perspective can be. Because from one side, you're like obsessing over them, you're thinking over them, thinking about them so much, and on the other hand, you don't really matter to them. And that does kind of hurt to hear, but it did kind of make me relieved because it meant that I did a pretty good job of not getting caught staring. So, I'm just saying. But yeah, that date went really great. And the thing is, we shared a milkshake, and we got back to the car, and then was sitting there, and then they held my hand, and the first thing that came to my mind was, wow, this must be something they do a lot with their friends. I know. I'm so sorry. Um, because just it, it was just so impossible, right? Just felt like an impossibility that person that you yearned for so long just cares about you now, and I couldn't believe it. But yeah, the thing is, that night we did talk things out, and we knew we liked each other. And yeah, from there we slowly went into it because they had just gotten out of a previous relationship. So we took things slow, but the thing is, the man who's tasted food hungers more than the man who has never eaten. Do you know how long I've been waiting to say that? I don't, but I've been waiting my whole life to say that. But yeah, that's basically it. Since then, we've had our fair share of up and downs, and I don't know. It's just so like surreal. It didn't feel like that long ago where I was staring across the math classroom at you, but now you look at me like you love me.
Aww.
But anyway, um, I just want to say for the record, this video, the making of this video is completely my choice. I'm not being forced to do this or anything. Don't think that. Um, but yeah, thank you so much for staying here and watching this video. I mean, if you still are, I'm not sure if you would want to, but I always have wanted to make a video like this. But again, thank you so much for staying till the end, and I really do hope I see you again.